Well, thanks for having me, guys. My name is Andrew. I'm the head esports coach at Grace College. Grace College, we're a Christian college located in Winona Lake, Indiana. So where you guys are at, we're probably about 2 hours north of you guys. So as far as that, that's where we're at. So yeah, we can go into it. You can get started with the first video there. This is going to be just showing what our campus looks like. We've got a really beautiful campus. So that's sort of our campus. If you go to the next one, probably what you guys are a little bit more interested in would be our esports facility. So that's just a snapshot of our esports facility. Brand new, we just built it. We've got 11 MSI gaming PCs, got RTX 2060 Supers in them, and a brand new Intel processor. So they're pretty sweet machines. You can see we've social distanced them for this semester, or this year at least. So as far as our room goes, we compete in there. Something you're not seeing in the photos where I actually am right now would be our game review room. We've got like a 58-inch flat screen 4K TV in here. So we do most of our like game reviews and things like that in here as well. So yeah, we've got a sponsorship with MSI, which is pretty awesome. We'll get customized jerseys with our school logo and stuff on them from MSI, so that'd be awesome. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to just jump into. Looks like a formal presentation, but probably works better if you guys have questions, just let me know. So yeah, we've got 11 of those MSI machines, which are pretty sweet. Yeah, games that we're running. Well, you can run. Yeah, games that we're running. We're doing League of Legends, Rocket League, Fortnite, and Overwatch. So we offer scholarships for all levels. The way that we do our program would be having a varsity team for each game. This first year, we started with a League of Legends varsity team, and then from there, we're adding next year, adding Rocket League, Fortnite, and Overwatch. So we have our varsity teams, and then more than that, we also want to just create a community on our campus. So we've got our club side, which is about as much or little competitiveness or time commitment as you want. But we would give scholarships for both teams, the varsity and the club. So as far as what that looks like, for the varsity teams, there'd be tryouts. And then for the club team, anyone who's a student is open to join that as well. So as far as that, everyone has full access to the esports facility I showed earlier. So we have an approved list of games, and you're able to play those games whenever the facility is open, which is whenever the building's open. So you'll have like an ID card you can just scan in between classes, or at night if that's when you prefer gaming. It'll be open for that as well. So can move on to the next slide. Awesome. So we're part of two different conferences right now. The first one being the ECAC, and the second one being the GLEC. The ECAC is definitely a bigger one. That one's nationwide, playing other varsity programs. They also have spots for club teams as well. So you could have multiple teams in that. As far as that goes, there's 70 to 80 colleges nationwide that we would play. So that's actually will be happening in the spring here for our League of Legends team. Should be really, really cool to watch that. As far as that goes, they have a really cool system with how they operate. It's a Swiss style, meaning if you're winning, you're playing other teams that are winning, and if you're losing, you're playing other teams that have about the same record as you. So when you have so many schools in a conference of 70 to 80 schools, it just helps to even out the playing field and have fun competitive games for each one. So obviously at the end of that, there's a tournament, and if you qualify, you can play for the nationals, which would be really cool as well. The GLEC is a little bit smaller. It's only about 15 schools, but it's cool in terms of the fact that we're playing teams that are near us and that we know for sure. Grace is, competitive. We're competitive in athletics with schools like Bethel and Mount Vernon and things like that, and they're in the GLEC. So being only 15 schools, you play more schools, and you get to know the other teams a little bit better. So as far as that goes, that's a really cool tournament season to compete in as well. So you can just skip the next video too. We'll just go on from there. Yeah, this is just, we can kind of just go through these slides, but this just kind of shows our campus a little bit more. So we've got a beautiful campus, like I said before. We're in Winona Lake, so the community is really involved in a lot of ways. There's a bunch of coffee shops and restaurants, and there's parks and bike trails and so many things. So if you go to the next slide, Winona Lake is named Winona Lake because there is a big lake there called Winona Lake, which is awesome. You can kind of see on the left photo that the campus there is really close to the lake, just like a 5-minute walk. So a lot of our students are really drawn to that. If that's not your thing, then that's fine. We've got a bunch of other stuff, but in terms of that, the lake is really nice. We also have a boat that was donated to us, so you can take rides on the boat, which is awesome. But yeah, you got the lake, and then there's also like hiking and biking trails and the village that I mentioned before. Yeah, you can go to the next one. Yep, these are the biking and hiking trails. So this is the paved portion, which is really nice. So this is connected to Grace campus and goes all throughout Winona Lake. So really awesome trails. My wife and I ride our bikes, walk our dog on those a lot, and you see a lot of Grace students use those as well. Some people are into mountain biking stuff. There's more just like dirt trails and things like that you can go on if you're a little bit more hardcore. So yeah, that's another big draw. Yeah, so as far as our education goes, we've got 90 plus areas of study. Being a smaller school, we have really good student faculty ratio, meaning you'll get to know your professors. You'll be able to email them. You'll be able to talk to them personally. They'll be able to help you find internships and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of really good programs we have here educationally. Some really big ones are our business program, our education program, our science program. So yep, you can move on there. Yeah, another really big draw to Grace, excuse me, would be our 3-year bachelor's program. So they kind of restructured how our semesters work, and a lot of our students graduate in 3 years. About 30% of our students graduate in 3 years, which is great. In terms of college being expensive, being able to graduate a year earlier obviously helps you save a lot of money. And when you're talking about costs. And then also about half of our students graduate in less than 4 years. So that usually looks like 3 years in a semester. And then a lot of the students you see doing 4 years are athletes or using their 4 years of eligibility. So along with that, we have a 4-year bachelor's and master's program. So it's very possible, and we have a lot of students that do that, where they do a bachelor's and a master's degree in 4 years, which is pretty awesome. They usually take 6 years for most schools' routes. So that's a huge draw, and a lot of our students are also drawn to that for Grace as well. Yep, you can move to the next one. Yeah, we've got a bunch of new dorms. You can just see a little peek there. Yeah, we have 4 new dorms that were built in the last 10 years. So they've really nice looking dorms. And it being a first year of freshmen, a lot of them are placed in these dorms. So we've also got a cool kind of virtual tour online. You can kind of walk through a bunch of the buildings, including our dorms, and see what they actually look like. If you guys have ever done Google Street View or something like that, it's like you literally can walk through it and kind of pick where you go, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's a great, another aspect would be our new dorms as well. So yeah, here's some other things that are just good about saving money would be a big one. We have a textbook program where you get all your textbooks for $125. That's a really good deal. When I went to college, I think I paid more than $125 for one of my textbooks. So being able to get all of your textbooks for the semester for $125 is a really good deal. We also have a tuition lock, meaning whatever you start your tuition at will stay the same. So it will never go up on you until you graduate. It'll stay the same. And then you can also take summer classes that are free. So that's also another big perk as well. So, yep, you can move to the next one. Yeah, another really big thing about Grace is we are a Christian college. So we have things like chapel. Our classes are taught from a biblical perspective. Same thing goes for our esports program. There are a lot of schools that do esports, but a really big unique thing about Grace's esports program is we've got a nice facility on campus, and we're a Christian college. So it's pretty rare to find those two things. So if you're looking for a Christian college with an esports program, we've got one, we've got a varsity program, and we've got a nice facility on campus. So yep, that's my contact info. We've got a Discord. If you want to email me, I'm really responsive on there. Or, you can ask your coach. He can probably get you Discord information as well. I can be happy to talk to any of you guys, answer any sort of questions you had. Speaking that, if anyone's got any questions right now, feel free to ask. We can just open it up a little bit if anyone has any questions.
So there are a couple of questions in the chat. One student asking about Smash and what the potential of that is at Grace. Another student asking about the rank of your varsity teams across the board. And then another student asking about like the total cost on average per student.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one. The first one was what, Smash Bros, right? Was that the first one?
Correct.
Yeah, I would love to add a Smash team. I would be looking also to add Smash to 2021. That kind of depends on the amount of students we get interested. I'd see that being very possibly happening in 2021, if not sooner. I know on our campus, there's a lot of students that are interested in that as well. So since we are a fairly new program, it'd just be getting that off the ground. But if you're interested in Grace and you want to be part of an esports program and Smash is your main game, I would also offer scholarships for that as well. Yep. What was the next question?
What do the ranks look like for your varsity team so far?
Yeah, so we've got the only varsity team we have currently is League of Legends. Our average ranking for that is high gold, low plat. This is also our first year for having a varsity team. So looking at recruiting for next year, I'm looking at getting platinum plus for our varsity team. And then, the club teams, which anyone is welcome to join those. So those would be any skill levels. So that's, looking to also recruit for other games. The varsity teams will be first year programs. Talking to definitely people, Rocket League, a lot of people are Diamond Plus for that or Platinum. So we're just going to have to see what that looks like for the fall 2021. But that's what the ranks look like for those teams.
And then we had just a couple more questions here. First off, what is the average cost per student looking like?
Average cost per student. I'm not exactly sure that's a great question for admissions. I know our website is really, one of the things is we like to be really genuine. So we like to be really open about our costs. So I can look this up real quick. We have a certain website page that shows you like what tuition costs are and what our scholarships look like as well. Let's see. So our undergraduate tuition is $26,532. And then after factoring in, we have a lot of good scholarship opportunities. So one of the really big ones is our merit scholarship. In terms of that, I can send more information on that, but our merit scholarship is a really big one that a lot of people get. Just for your GPA, you can get, I'm not sure what the range is exactly, but it's up to 10 to 12,000 for that. We also have a FAFSA grant where just from filling out the FAFSA, you get $2,000 for that. The esports scholarship would be on top of that. And then we've also got a diversity scholarship, which a lot of students apply for that one. So if you've got diversity in your heritage, then you can get a scholarship for that as well. So if you're more interested in that, I can walk you through it. Otherwise, you can just Google cost Grace College. It'll take you to our grace.edu site and you can see that. Same thing with our scholarships too. So. Yeah, and that was one of the other things with the cost. I talked a lot in the presentation about cost saving things. So the 3-year program is a really big incentive for that as well. If your tuition is $26,000 a year, well, if you get a bachelor's in three years, then you save $26,000. Or however much you pay after, scholarships and things like that for the year, or even save for a semester. So. I'd also factor that in as well when you're looking up cost. So.
And then we had a student who was interested in learning more about the GLEC.
Yeah, they've got a website. If you have a specific question, I'd be happy to answer that, but it's just the Great Lakes Esports Conference. So actually, I don't know if they have a website. It might just be a Twitter. So because it's a smaller conference, there's a lot of different teams in there that are a pretty wide range of skill. So it's pretty cool to see a lot of teams from bigger schools and smaller schools competing, seeing where you can get those upsets or things like that. So if there's a specific question on that, I can answer that a little bit better. But as far as that, I would just go to their Twitter, which would be at GLEC_GG, I believe.